The Drowning Girl at Blackwater River. 1. Blackwater River. The summer Levi Briggs turned 17, the Blackwater River stopped being a place where he fished, skipped stones, and cooled off with friends. It became the place he nearly died, and the place he discovered that not everything walking, swimming, or breathing looked human even when it wore a face. Blackwater had always been the kind of river that adults in the small mountain town of Harrow's Peak warned kids about. The current grabs without asking, Levi's dad used to say. Always test the bottom. Don't ever go in alone. And if you hear something calling your name from the water, you ignore it. People said that last part with a wink, like a campfire joke, but everyone repeated it anyway. Harrow's Peak carried legends the way other towns carried lawn gnomes and 4th of July decorations, in excess and with pride. There were stories about panthers that screamed like women, shadows that walked along the forest ridges, and lights that danced above the pines. Levi never believed any of it. He was the practical one, the grounded one, the one who took summer jobs fixing fences and helping the elderly. Legends were for tourists. Until the day he dragged a drowning girl from the river. A girl who wasn't a girl at all. 2. The rescue. It was the last week of July, the kind of day where heat shimmered over asphalt and even the cicadas sounded tired. Levi had biked out alone to clear his head. His mom worked double shifts at the diner, his dad worked seasonal construction hours out of state, and Levi was trying to figure out his own place in the world. He wasn't in a bad mood exactly, he just needed the quiet hum of nature, the smell of river mud, and the shade of the forest. He parked his bike beside the old stone bridge on the east side of Blackwater, kicked off his shoes, and waded to the edge of the deeper pool beneath the overhang of the cliff. He didn't notice her at first, the river moved deep green and silent as always, carrying leaves and little white wildflower petals that had fallen from the trees. Levi was kneeling down, scooping water into his hands, when the surface broke. Not with a splash. With a hand. A small pale hand, fingers trembling, reached up like it was trying to grab the sky. Levi froze for half a heartbeat. Then instinct slammed into him like a fist. Someone's drowning. He didn't call for help, no one was around to hear anyway. He dove. The shock of cold hit like stone, knocking the breath from him. The river pulled hard, its current surging stronger deeper down. He kicked toward the hand and saw her, a face beneath the water, eyes open, hair drifting like strands of ink. Her lips parted in slow, numb shock, bubbles leaking out. He grabbed her under the arms and kicked upward. She was heavier than she looked, not big, but dense, like her bones had soaked up something they shouldn't have. They broke the surface with a gasp. Levi dragged her toward the shallows, stumbling as the strong river sucked at them. When he finally pulled her onto the bank, he collapsed beside her, coughing river water. She lay on her back, her skin pale blue, her dark hair fanned out across the pebbles, her eyes half closed. Hey, hey. Can you hear me? Levi leaned over her. Come on. Breathe. She didn't cough. Didn't sputter. Didn't even twitch. Levi pressed 2 fingers to her neck. A pulse, faint, but there. He started chest compressions. His hands trembled. He'd done CPR training in school, but doing it here, alone, on some girl who had appeared from nowhere, it felt unreal. He pressed, counted, breathed for her, and suddenly. She convulsed. Water burst from her lungs in a violent, choking wave. She rolled to the side, shaking. Her breathing hitched into ragged gasps. Levi let out a sob of relief. It's okay, he said, voice shaking. You're okay. You're safe now. She didn't answer. Instead, she looked at him. Her eyes were too bright. Too silver. Too depthless. Like deep-water reflections of moonlight. Levi blinked. The girl blinked back, slowly, uncomfortably slowly. And then she whispered, voice thin as mist, why did you pull me out? 3. the girl from nowhere. She sat up with unnatural ease for someone who had been unconscious a moment earlier. Her hair dripped dark trails down her back, but the water beating off her skin slid too quickly, too smoothly, as though refusing to cling to her. "You were drowning," Levi said. "I had to." Her expression didn't soften. She studied him like she was cataloging him. "What's your name?" he asked. The girl looked toward the river instead, as if listening to something underwater. Then she said, "Lyra." Her voice was clearer now, less thin but still strange, melodic, deliberate. Every syllable had a resonance Levi couldn't place. "And you are?" she asked. "Levi Briggs." "Levi." She repeated it like she was tasting the shape of the word. "You shouldn't have saved me." He frowned. "Most people say, thank you." She tilted her head slightly. "I am not most people." Levi almost laughed, thinking it was a joke, but she didn't smile. "Were you swimming alone?" he asked. "Did someone fall in with you? I can call for help." "No," her voice sharpened. "No calls. No humans." He blinked. "Okay, that's not creepy at all." Her silver eyes narrowed. "I need to return to the water." "No way. You almost died. You need a doctor." She stood. Just stood, no wobbling, no dizziness, no coughing fits. Her wet dress clung to her knees, pale and simple, like it was woven from reeds. She stepped toward the river. Levi jumped up. "Whoa, hold on. I must go back." "You'll drown again." "I cannot drown." "You literally just did." She turned toward him with an expression that wasn't anger, more like curiosity mixed with irritation, like he was a puzzle piece not fitting where she expected. "I was not drowning," she said. "I was transforming." Levi opened his mouth, then closed it. "That doesn't make sense." "Not for your kind." "My kind?" he echoed. Lyra stepped close, and Levi's heart jumped. She reached out and lightly touched his cheek with cool fingers. "You're warm," she whispered. "Too warm." Levi swallowed. "You need medical help. Please. Let me at least walk you back to town. Or call." "No calls," she repeated, voice suddenly sharp. "If more humans come, they will take me. Study me. Cage me." His stomach twisted. Why would anyone do that? She stared at him, unblinking. "Because," she said quietly, "I am not human." 4. Things below the surface. Levi was silent. The words hung in the humid air. He wanted to laugh, wanted to shake off what she said as shock or confusion or trauma, but something in her voice, something in those eyes, made the hair on his arms stand up. "You're just disoriented," he said weakly. "Your river is my home," she murmured. "But I cannot be above it for long." "Not yet." "Not yet?" Levi repeated. "My body is still shifting." She lifted her hand. Her skin shimmered, not sparkle, not glow, but something deeper, like a ripple. The veins beneath her skin darkened, shifting from pale blue to deep teal and back again. Levi stumbled back, breath catching. What are you?" "My people call ourselves the Tittery," she said. "You would call us river-born. Water dwellers. Nature spirits. Monsters. It depends on the story." His heart hammered. "Okay. You're messing with me." "I do not lie. Everyone lies." "Then humans are strange." He blinked. "You're saying you live in the river?" "Like, what, mermaids?" Lyra considered the word. "Close enough." Levi ran his hands through his hair. "I need to sit down." "Do that." He sat heavily on the rocks. She didn't move. She stood there, small and steady, as the river breeze lifted her wet hair. Levi asked, why were you transforming? My kind can take a human shape for only a short time unless we grow into it. The river chose me early. Too early. My shift was incomplete. Incomplete? If you had not pulled me out, I would have dissolved back into the current and reformed later. She glanced at the water. It is not pleasant, but it is natural. And I messed that up. Yes. By saving you, he said incredulously. Yes. Levi stared. Wow. Okay. Next time I see someone drowning, I guess I'll. You misunderstand. She stepped closer. You interfered with a process that takes years to master. Now my shape is unstable. My connection to the river is weakened. My body is confused. She placed a hand over her chest. I am trapped between forms, she whispered. I cannot return fully to the water. And I cannot survive long on land. Levi's stomach dropped. So you're in danger. Because of me? Yes. The word hit like a stone. But you didn't know, she added, quieter. I cannot fault you for that. He exhaled shakily. Then let me help fix it. You cannot. Why not? Because humans cannot breathe underwater. Levi blinked. Please tell me that's not the only reason. Lyra hesitated, a flicker of worry passing through her silver eyes. There are other reasons, she said. Then tell me. She shook her head. I must go. The river will call me soon. She turned again to the water. And something, Levi didn't know why, something in his chest clenched. Don't go. She paused. If you go and something happens because of me, his voice cracked. I can't just walk away from that. Lyra looked back at him. For the first time, her expression changed, softened, shifted into something like confusion mixed with something gentler. I have never known a human to worry for my kind, she said. Well, Levi said awkwardly, now you do. Silence flowed between them, gentle as the breeze. Then Lyra said, you truly wish to help. I do. You will regret it. Probably, Levi admitted. But I still want to. Lyra exhaled, long and trembling, as though making a decision that weighed heavily. Very well, she said. Then listen carefully. There is something I must find in the deep. And I cannot go alone in my unstable form. If you follow me, if you enter where the river breathes, there is no guarantee you will return. Levi swallowed hard. What are we looking for? The Heartstone, she whispered. A living fragment of the river's oldest current. And you need it to fix yourself? Yes. Levi exhaled. Then I'm coming with you. Lyra stared at him. You are a strange human. Thanks. I try. She blinked. Then come. But prepare. The river below is not the river above. 5. Into the deep current. They didn't go immediately. Lyra insisted Levi gather supplies, a flashlight, rope, and warm clothes. The deep takes heat from you, she said. He also wrote a quick note to his mom explaining that he was out hiking and would be back later. He didn't understand what he was doing, or why, but something in Lyra's voice convinced him this wasn't a normal rescue situation. By dusk, they returned to Blackwater. The river glowed faintly where the moonlight touched it. Mist curled over the surface in thin, ghostly wisps. Lyra stood at the edge and inhaled deeply, her shoulders trembling. I still feel the current inside me, she whispered. Weak, but there. Levi stood beside her, heart pounding. Where are we going? There is a place beneath the river called the underflow, tunnels and caverns shaped by the oldest waters. At its core lies the Heartstone. She touched the water with her foot. If I can reach it, it will restore what you interrupted. Okay, Levi said. How deep is it? Too deep for humans. So how am I supposed to go? She looked at him, really looked, as if questioning whether this strange boy had any idea what he was asking. There is a way, she said slowly. But it will hurt. How much? She didn't answer. Instead, she raised her hand and placed it over Levi's heart. His breath hitched. Her palm was cold, but not dead cold. More like the chilled shock of first entering water. I can give you part of my breath, she whispered. A fragment. Just enough so the river does not crush you. What does that mean? You will not drown. But you will not feel human. He swallowed. Will it kill me? Not if you stay close. If you drift too far, the river will pull you apart. Helpful. I am being honest. Levi nodded. Do it. Lyra's fingers pressed deeper against his chest. A jolt shot through him, not electric, not painful, but intense, a cold flood surging through his lungs. He gasped, grabbing her wrist. His vision blurred, colors dimming except for the silver in her eyes which glowed brighter. Then, just as suddenly, the sensation dulled. Lyra pulled her hand back. It's done, she said softly. You carry my breath now. Do not lose it. Not planning to. Levi coughed once. So, what now? Lyra stepped into the river. Now, she whispered, we go down. She sank beneath the surface, not like she was swimming but like the water welcomed her, sliding around her as if she belonged to it. Levi inhaled. He closed his eyes. He followed. The river swallowed him whole. 6. The underflow. Levi expected to die immediately. He expected terror, cold, suffocation. Instead, he felt alive. Not fully, not like himself, more like the world was muted and the river replaced it with something else. He opened his eyes underwater, startled to still see clearly. He inhaled and instead of water flooding his lungs, a cool tingling filled him. Lyra glowed faintly ahead of him, her skin shimmering subtly with blues and greens that had not been visible on land. Stay close, her voice echoed, not in his ears, but in his mind. He kicked forward, following her deeper. The river tunnel opened below, wide and dark. Fissures in the rocks glowed with faint bioluminescent light, casting shifting patterns across cavern walls. Strange river plants waved like ribbons. Schools of translucent fish darted past, their bodies shimmering like glass. Levi stared in awe. Lyra glanced back, noticing. You see the water as I see it now, she whispered in his mind. My breath grants you this. It's beautiful, Levi thought back. Yes. But dangerous. They swam deeper. The water grew colder, heavier, pressing at Levi from all angles. He felt its weight like hands pushing on his chest. Lyra slowed, placing her hand on his arm. He felt a rush of warmth, or as close to warmth as the river allowed. The underflow tests those who enter, she warned. It senses intention. What does it want? To know if we belong. Do we? I do, she whispered. We will see. Levi swallowed the nervous lump in his throat and followed her. As they descended, he saw carvings along the cavern walls, swirling patterns, ancient symbols, and shapes resembling tall figures with flowing hair. Who made those? He asked. My ancestors, Lyra replied. The oldest Tittery. They lived here when the river was young. And humans didn't? No, she paused. This place is not meant for humans. Great. Fantastic. You are brave, she said. Or foolish. A mix, Levi admitted. They continued downward until the tunnel opened into a massive chamber, an underwater cathedral. A central whirlpool glowed with pulsing blue light. The heart flow, Lyra whispered. Its center holds the heartstone. She turned to Levi. Stay behind me. Do not touch the water within the circle. It's all water, he pointed out. This water is alive. Before he could ask what she meant, the chamber trembled. A rumbling thrummed through the water, and shadows began to coil around the glowing whirlpool. Levi's heart skipped. What's that? Lyra's silver eyes hardened. River shades. Guardians of the heart. They sense my instability. Black shapes rose like smoke underwater, long, twisting forms with glowing white eyes. Levi panicked. They don't look friendly. They are not. The nearest shade rushed forward. Lyra pushed Levi aside, slashing through the water with a movement too fast for human eyes. A flash of blue light burst from her fingertips, scattering the shade into drifting wisps. Stay close, she ordered. Another shade lunged. Lyra deflected it, but Levi saw the strain on her face. Her unstable form flickered, her skin shimmering unevenly. He couldn't just hide behind her. A shade darted toward him. Levi swung the flashlight instinctively, and to his shock, the beam hit the shade like a solid strike. The creature recoiled, its form sizzling where the light touched. They fear brightness. Lyra shouted. Levi tightened his grip. Good thing it's LED. Together they pushed forward, Lyra slicing through shades with glowing bursts, Levi driving them back with the fierce beam of his flashlight. When they reached the edge of the glowing whirlpool, Lyra's strength faltered. She clutched her chest. Lyra. I cannot hold this shape much longer. What do we do? You must help me reach the Heartstone. She grabbed his hands. But once I take it, the chamber will collapse. Collapse? The river does not give without cost. Then how do we get out? She stared into his eyes. You must trust me. Trust you how? There is one more gift I can give you, a deeper breath. A true breath. But it will bind you to me. Temporarily. Levi didn't hesitate. Do it. Lyra cupped his face, her hands trembling. You are reckless, she whispered. And kind. Then she pressed her lips to his. Not a kiss, not really. It was something ancient, something deeper. A shock of cold shot into his lungs, flooding him with a surge of energy. His vision flashed with blue light. Suddenly he felt the river, felt its pulse, its flow, its heartbeat. Lyra's eyes glowed bright. Now we dive. She pulled him into the glowing whirlpool. 7. The Heartstone. The whirlpool swallowed them, spinning faster and faster until Levi felt his body pulled in every direction. Lyra held him tightly, guiding him down a spiraling tunnel of light. At the bottom, the tunnel widened into a small chamber, quiet, still, glowing with a pulsing blue heart in the center. The Heartstone. It floated above a pedestal of smooth river stone. It wasn't a rock exactly, more like a sphere of moving water, swirling endlessly, glowing with internal light. Lyra's voice trembled. That is the river's oldest memory. Its first breath. Its first life. It's beautiful, Levi murmured. It is painful, she said. But necessary. She reached toward it. The moment her fingers touched the surface, blue lightning arced through the chamber. Lyra screamed, her body flickering violently between human and something else, scales, fins, swirling patterns along her skin. Lyra. Levi lunged forward. Don't touch it, she gasped. It will tear you apart. But it's hurting you. It must, she cried. My form must be broken fully before it can be remade. Levi's chest clenched. Let me help. You already have. Her voice softened through the pain. You gave me courage. Humans do not usually give that. Levi hesitated only a moment. Then he grabbed her hand. Lyra's eyes widened in fear. No. The river will. Her warning cut off as a blast of energy surged through both of them. Levi screamed as pain ripped through him, cold and hot all at once, like being torn open and filled with water. But he didn't let go. He held her hand tighter. The heartstone pulsed faster and faster until its light filled everything. Then, silence. Darkness. Still water. 8. Rebirth. Levi drifted in nothingness. No pain. No sound. No body. Just drifting. Then, a voice. Levi. He tried to open his eyes. Levi. The voice was familiar. Soft. Melodic. He blinked. Light flooded back into the world. He gasped, inhaling cool water that no longer stung. He was floating in a dark, calm chamber. And Lyra floated beside him. But changed. Her human shape was solid now, more defined, her features clearer, her eyes bright silver instead of dull. But beneath her skin, faint patterns glowed, swirling watermarks that faded and reappeared like ripples. She looked beautiful, unmistakably otherworldly. "You survived," she whispered, awe in her voice. Levi coughed. "Barely." "You touched the heartstone." She floated closer. "No human has ever done that and lived. Maybe I'm just built different." She smiled, a small, real smile. "You are," she said softly. "The river spoke your name after." "That sounds intense." It was. She paused. "The river accepted you." "What does that mean?" "It means you belong. Down here. Here. With me." She reached out, brushing his cheek. Her fingers were warm now, not cold like before. "But you are still human. You still have a life above. A family waiting." Levi felt a strange ache in his chest. "You want me to leave?" "No," her voice trembled. "I want you to choose." The chamber rumbled softly. "The underflow collapses," she said. "We must go." She grabbed his hand and pulled him upward. The world spun again as they shot through tunnels of collapsing rock, swirling currents, and rising pressure. Levi felt the river guiding them, pushing them toward the surface. Lyra's hand never let go of his. Light grew above them. They broke through the surface of Blackwater River under a sky filled with stars. Levi gasped in real air, collapsing onto the shore. Lyra rose gracefully beside him, standing like gravity was optional. The river behind them churned, then quieted. It was done. The heartstone was gone. Lyra was whole. And Levi was something different. 9. The choice. They sat in silence on the riverbank. The night hummed with crickets, the world above was warm compared to the deep cold they'd escaped. Lyra watched the water, her expression pensive. "So, what now?" Levi asked quietly. She turned toward him. "Now, I must decide whether to remain above or return to the river," she said. "My shape is stable, but I feel both worlds." She placed a hand over her heart. "And you?" "The bond remains." Levi's breath caught. "Bond?" "When I gave you my breath, the deeper breath, it connected us. You will feel the river now. Its moods. Its warnings. Tiny things, but real." She looked at him solemnly. "It will never fully fade." Levi didn't know what to say. His pulse fluttered. "Is that bad?" he asked. "For most humans. Yes." She smiled faintly. "For you? I do not know." He exhaled slowly. "And us?" he asked. "What happens to us?" Lyra looked down at her hands. "I cannot promise you a human life," she whispered. "I cannot walk your world without learning it. And you cannot walk mine without letting go of much. But we met for a reason, Levi said softly. Perhaps. Her voice barely carried above the river hum. Or perhaps you were simply a kind boy who could not let someone drown. He turned toward her. I didn't save you because I'm kind. No. I saved you because I heard you, he said quietly. Even before I saw you. The river felt different. Like it was calling. She stared at him, eyes widening. You heard the river? I think I did. Lyra exhaled slowly. Her voice trembled. Then it truly chose you. Chose me for what? To walk between worlds, she said. To be one who sees both. Levi hesitated. Is that good? It is rare. She reached for his hand. And lonely. He squeezed her fingers. It doesn't have to be. She smiled, soft, genuine, luminous. Levi, she whispered, I cannot stay long tonight. I must return below to meet my people. They will need to see me restored. And when will you come back? She hesitated. Soon, she said. If you want me to. He nodded. I do. Her smile grew. Then I will return. She stood and stepped toward the water. Levi's chest tightened. Lyra. She turned. Yes. Will you be safe? Yes. Thanks to you. She paused. And Levi. Yeah. Next time someone is drowning, she said, ask whether they want saving first. He laughed. I'll keep that in mind. She stepped back into the river, and the water welcomed her like a homecoming. Her form shimmered, then dissolved gracefully, leaving only ripples. The river quieted. The forest exhaled. Levi sat alone on the shore, feeling the pulse of the water in his chest. He knew she would return. And he knew his life, the world he thought he understood, would never be the same. 10. Epilogue, 1 year later. Blackwater River shimmered under the afternoon sun. Levi, now 18, stood barefoot at the bank, feeling the currents hum through his bones. He had changed. He didn't tell anyone about Lyra, not his mom, not his friends. But he felt the river every day. He knew when thunderstorms approached hours before clouds appeared. He could taste when the water carried sickness or when fish were migrating. He dreamed in currents. He belonged to the river now. And 1 year later, she returned. Ripples formed in the deeper pool. Silver eyes broke the surface. Levi, Lyra said, voice bright with warmth. You waited. He smiled. I always will. She held out her hand. Come walk with me, she said. Between worlds. Levi took her hand. And the river embraced them both. The end.